Welcome back to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm, of course, your host with the most feel better. And we have an amazing, truly phenomenal guest who has redefined what it means to empower and inspire entrepreneurs worldwide. With her career spanning over a decade in entrepreneurship, following nearly 2 decades in the corporate world, this powerhouse knows what it takes to turn passion into profit and dreams into reality. She's an international award-winning speaker, a TEDx star, and best-selling author whose high energy and actionable approach has ignited countless lives. As the founder of Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel and Speakers Playhouse, she is revolutionizing how entrepreneurs, coaches, and speakers connect, collaborate, and conquer their goals. Her flagship program includes the Done For You Summit program, are legendary for their ability to help individuals and host widely successful virtual events, which we all know is very important in this day and age. Whether she's captivating an audience from the stage or creating gamified platforms for speakers and show hosts, her mission is clear: to inspire, uplift, and deliver practical strategies that create real success. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be inspired and empowered by the incredible, the one, the only, Kimberly Crowe. Kimberly, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, Phil, that gave me chills. Thank you so much for having me. This is super fun. Love your style. Love your show.
Awesome. I love it. And you're very welcome. I look at myself as the MC to the rap star that is Kimberly. So I'm supposed to hype up the crowd so that they're ready to hear all the amazing stuff that you have to share with us. So we'll just jump straight into it, Kimberly. Why did you become an entrepreneur? What made you throw off the shackles of the 9 to 5 to become the crazy entrepreneur that you are today?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I, like probably many of the people in your audience, did what they told me to do. I went to school, I went to college, got a good job with health insurance, and climbed a corporate ladder for 17 years. And 15 of them were pretty good, actually. I mean, I don't have much to complain about, but the last two, not so much. I realized that I was on a ladder that I didn't even want to be on, right? Climbing that corporate ladder. And as I looked around, the people who were at my level and above, they were miserable, they were unhappy, they were unhealthy, they were divorced, they were mean to their employees, and they weren't living the good life. And I thought, what am I doing here, right? But I was in what they call golden handcuffs, and I was making so much money that it didn't really make sense to quit and start over. So that was a very tough 2 years trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And so finally I did resign. We left on very good terms, and then I decided that I would create an entrepreneurship. And I asked my friends and family, what should I do full time? Now, I'd done some little entrepreneurial things on the side. I'd started a business that was a part-time business and sold it while I was working at corporate, all kinds of little things. But I thought, I'm going to have that American dream goal and get a business to $1 million. So what should I do? And they all said, well, you're so good at what you did at corporate. Why don't you just hang your own shingle, so to speak, and create a business around what you already know how to do? And I thought, okay, I can do that, right? And so I did. And 18 months later, I had created a business doing pretty much what I did at corporate, and I got it to $1 million. And I was miserable. I was really, really unhappy. And
You
I
reached your goal. Like, you reached your goal. How can you be unhappy?
Well, I realized that I had spent the last 2 years trying to not do the thing I was now doing, and trying really hard to get out of that industry, because I'd done it sort of to death. I'd already done that. I wanted to do anything else. But now I'd created a golden jail cell, right? I had this business that was counting on me. I had employees, I had contracts. I couldn't just quit. So it was really a difficult time. And it was actually my son that got me out of it. I had left work one day. I had literally climbed a mountaintop to see if I could find an answer from spirit up there, and it wasn't up there. So I came back down all sweaty, and I met my son at the front door, and he said, "Mom, I'm glad you're back. I have a problem." And I was like, "Great. Somebody else's problem to focus on." Now, I don't know if your folks have kids, but if you can focus on any other problem other than your own, it's like a break, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was like, "What's your problem, sweetie?" And he said, "Well, I'm 15 and a half, and I'm too young to get a summer job this summer. And I'm too old to go back to summer camp because that's boring and stupid now that I'm 15 and a half, right?" So I said, right, right. I got it. Okay, well, how about we do this? How about we create a business around what you love doing? Like, we'll just build a business for fun this summer. And he was really excited. And he was like, can we do that? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Anything to get me out of thinking of what I was in the middle of, right? So we went into Google and we put in all the things he was good at as a teenager. He was good at being on stage. He was good at improv. He actually liked kids. He read books to them in the library and all kinds of stuff. So we put all that in, and out came this idea of start an audiobook narration business to narrate audiobooks. And he was like, can we do that? And I said, sure, like nothing's preventing us from doing that. So sure, why not? So we launched a business, and he auditioned for books. I auditioned for books. We got a whole bunch of them lined up really fast. We actually got so much business we couldn't handle it because we were having so much fun just auditioning and getting all these books and people wanting us to narrate them. And then we had so much business we couldn't handle it all. And we'd done like 20 books, 25 books, and he was going back to school. So we decided that we would start teaching other people how to create an audiobook business.
Jeez.
So we went to the local adult school and we taught a class, and we had more fun than we had doing the books. We had so much fun. And I thought, this is what it is all about. This is it. Like it was like I'd cracked open the coconut. I wanted just to do things that were fun. And that's what it should be about. Like when you're out there in the world, whether you're working for corporate or whether you are on your own or whether you're a stay-at-home parent, whatever you're doing, it should be fun. It should fill you up. It should fill you with joy. So that part was what shifted in me. And I was like, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. And while we don't have the audiobook business anymore, because that was way crazy, um, I do teach people entrepreneurship and how to get on stages and how to teach classes and how to make money by getting on Zoom and speaking on other people's platforms. And even in real life in-person platforms. So that's what I do now. I love what I do. Mostly I just speak and goof around and have a good time with people like you. And then passive income or active income comes in, and I love life. And that's what it's supposed to be about.
So you're truly living the American dream. Well,
Well,
not just the American dream, the human dream, doing what you love.
I was going to say Canadians like it too.
Oh yeah, no,
We have
I love that dream.
people in the UK love it. People in Australia love it. I have people all over. In fact, we had Egypt and Syria dial in last time. I actually travel full time now because I'm a digital entrepreneur. I do speak in person at events. I spoke in Spain just recently. I've spoken in Canada. I've spoken in Guatemala. Any place that'll have an English speaking community somewhere around it. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I travel full time and I teach online, and it's a lovely, lovely life. And I don't know if that's the American dream or just a
I think that's the
fabulous
world
life.
dream. Like everybody just wants to be able to do what they want whenever they want, which you got. You're like, I'm gonna take a week off and just travel for or whatever you want. And then it's like, okay, I can find business while I'm there.
So
Because
I'm going to
you're
freak you out. I'm going to freak you out a little bit more and just say, last summer, August, my daughter and I walked the Camino for the second time. We walked across the Camino. We spent a month walking in Spain, and while I was walking in Spain, little notices came up on my email like, "Oh, you got paid again. You got paid again. Somebody bought your program. Somebody bought." And I was like, "I guess I'm buying dinner tonight." So yeah, it's
yeah.
like we were in backpacks walking across Spain on the Camino del Norte, and it was amazing. Yeah.
I love that. I love that you set up it just set up a way for you to be happy experiencing life and still getting paid. Because that's what a business is. It's supposed to support you and then allow you to go and, you know, create other businesses which support those businesses and create the empire that and help other people while helping yourself have that freedom. And that you broke out of, obviously you broke out of both the golden handcuffs and the golden cell, to start living your golden life. Hey, look at that, triple gold. uh
Hey, I like it.
uh what now that you have this freedom, because right now you're living the like everybody's dream, right? You have the freedom to do what you want. You're not tied down to anything. Like you said, you can be a digital nomad if you want, or you can set roots down. um what what is the hardest thing for you to do? Because now that you have all this choice, what is it that you want to do? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is something else that you're challenging yourself with?
Yeah. Well, I think that we all I think that you were spot on that it's supposed to be about loving it. And some people have jobs that they love. Like I said, W-2 employees. You don't call them that in Canada, but that you have a job, somebody pays you a paycheck and you love it. That's awesome. I did that for 15 years. It's fantastic. And some people want the ability to travel, right? Travel more. I travel full time. That actually has ramifications to it as well, right? If you travel full time, then you and actually my dad, who's in his 80s, when I started traveling full time, it was actually right after COVID, and he's like, "So are you homeless now?" And I said, "No, Dad, I have I have 6 homes, but other people pay me to live in them, right? I don't live in those homes. I have them, but I don't live in them. So I live a very fortunate life that way." But many entrepreneurs, it's interesting. They say they want to travel or have more time and flexibility to travel. And people that are W-2s or paid employees have the same feeling, right? Like, I want to travel more. But here's the thing, when you start to travel full time, it doesn't get old. People are like, doesn't it get old? It does not get old. Being able to choose where you live. And if you're in a Marriott today, or today I'm at my daughter's house, and we're going to spend Thanksgiving to dinner together. And it's going to be amazing. But when you are an entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs do not actually want to travel. They want the freedom to travel. They want the freedom to be able to travel whenever they want. They don't actually want to spend life on the road, right? They don't want that. And in order to do that, you can't have pets. You can't have children in school. And right now, I'm not married. You would have to have a spouse that wanted to travel full time with you, so or have a very flexible relationship with them. Um, so yeah, there are some drawbacks from it. And yeah, I think the biggest thing, you were like, what do you want? What's next? I have a very fulfilled life, but I'd love to have a pet. I would love to have a pet, right? I had I had a cat. My cat lives at my mom's house now. We had family dog. My family dog was with my daughter, and unfortunately, the family dog just passed away, so that's kind of sad.
Ah,
He lived with her for a while, but I don't have a pet anymore. So you can't have a pet if you travel full time. That's one drawback. You can have, like, if you travel around the United States in an RV, you can have a dog or a cat, right? But that's not how I do it. I do it on airplanes and Airbnbs and VRBO and hotels and cruise
I think a
ships.
hamster. I think you can get a hamster. Get a little hamster, put them
A
in the bowl.
hamster?
Yeah.
They might be worried about it in like agriculture control or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, maybe we'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. At one point, well, because like, a hamster is like just it lives like 3 years, so you just sit down for 3 years, like
It's a
you can move
short-term
around.
commitment. I can
Yeah,
also get an
short
older
commitment.
pet. I can get an older pet, the one that
Yeah,
had, like, was in
yeah.
its last year of life,
Yeah,
maybe.
give it the wild life that it never had. Travel around North America because you can get a dog in no problem or an older cat in no problem. But I want to know because you have a very interesting question because some of my audience may not know this, but I always have questions that I want my guests to submit and questions that we don't ask because I'm always cognitive of that. And you put in you for your questions you've never been asked, which I find surprising is what's the most fun you've had while growing your business?
Ah. Um, well, I think it's really been a matter of creating a business around me. Um, and being able to say, I actually have an acronym for that. It's called Get on the Road to Joy, ROAD, Road to Joy as an entrepreneur. So R and OAD each stand for something. So R is you've got to relish it. If you relish it, if you love it, if you enjoy it, if you have fun with it, keep doing it. R is for relish. So you either relish it, or if you don't relish it, it's got to go into one of the other 3 buckets. You ready? O is for outsource, meaning you got to pay somebody else to do it. All right. You maybe pay a partner. Maybe like you don't want to do your taxes, hire a CPA. If you don't want to clean your house, hire a maid. If you don't want to do your lawn, hire that person. Or if you don't want to do all of your follow-up campaigns, then hire somebody to write your social media or hire somebody to write your emails. What, you can do that. Or you can partner with people, right? Like I partner with people all the time that offer things to my folks that my folks want from me, but I can't give them, right? So, say, for example, a year-long coaching program on how to become a keynoter. I don't want to teach that because I don't know where I'm going to be next week, let alone next year. How can I sell you a program for a year, right? But I have an amazing business partner who does that, and I give my business to them, and I get a commission for that, right? So we have a good partnership. So number 2 is outsource it. The O stands for outsource. Number 3 is automate. A is for automate. All right. A is for automate, ROA, and then we have D. So A is for automate. Automate everything that you can, right? And obviously automate my email. I have a list of 50,000. I do not email all of you every day individually, right? Like I do email every day, but I don't send them personally, right? So I automate that. I automate a lot of the things in my workforce, in my day. And if you are just a stay-at-home mom and you hate to vacuum, automate that. There's Roomba, right? There's all kinds of ways you can automate your life. There's actually an automatic lawnmower as well.
Mm.
I just heard about that. I was like, ooh, that's
There,
kind of
there's
cool.
a guy on TikTok. There's a guy
Yeah,
on TikTok
right?
who has it, and he literally just puts his phone, and it just films and people watch it, and I'm amazed by it.
It's crazy. Well, then the D is for delete. If you can't relish it, if you don't relish it, I'm not saying you have to love everything that you do. If you don't relish it, you can't outsource it, you can't automate it. Think about deleting it. Maybe it just doesn't need to get done. This one might cause controversy in the world, but I will tell you that I do not send holiday cards. I don't send them. I just don't do it anymore. I used to do it when we had family and I'd be like, from this is what's happening with my daughter, my son, my husband, blah, blah, blah. And now I just don't do that anymore. It's just, I just deleted it. Nobody really missed it. Nobody told me, oh my gosh, I really missed your card this year. Like it was no big deal. We have other ways of connecting, right? So think about the things that you do that fill up your life and see which bucket they fall into. So relish it. If you love doing emails, awesome, do emails. If you love building websites, great, do that. If you love reading books to your children, great, do that. Whatever it is that you love doing, keep doing the things you love. And then if you can't, outsource, automate, or delete them.
I love that. My God, this is genius. That's super smart. I actually didn't think it was going to be delete. I thought it was going to be delegate. So I like that switch of.
Delegate is the same as outsource. I actually had it be delegate before, and people are like, what's the difference between outsourcing it and delegating it? I was like, good point. Now we have another one we can use delete.
There we go. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see it. What do you do to invest in yourself to become a better version of yourself? Because a lot of different entrepreneurs have like the 5:30 wake up to do the whole 75 hard thing, or their mandatory reading periods. What is it that you like to do to invest in yourself to get to that next level, to become the next version or the better version of yourself?
Wouldn't it be funny if I said the 75 hard, right? But no, not it. I'm not that person. I'm not. I invest in personal growth. I'm heavily invested with Brendan Burchard's programs. I believe in finding programs that resonate with you. You don't actually have to make huge investments of money. You can actually just make investments of time and switch around what you're scrolling through, right? If you're scrolling anyway, why not scroll through personal development or things that uplift instead of things that tear you down, right? I try not to watch the news. If anything important happens, my friends and family will let me know. But I spend time enjoying listening. My favorite, I'll just out myself and say my favorite is Abraham Hicks. I love her work. It's a female that channels an entity called Abraham. And basically, it's all law of attraction. And it resonates with my life because it's all about have fun. You're supposed to be doing that. Life is supposed to be fun and keep doing that. And if you're not having fun, take a nap. Right? If you're not feeling good, take a nap.
It
And
worked
I
when we were babies. So it works with us now.
I guess, yes. And I don't take a lot of naps, but I guess if I felt really crappy, I would take naps instead of she talks a lot about, don't spiral and don't like ruminate on the bad stuff in your life. Focus on the good stuff. And I actually teach a whole course on that about shifting the narrative. If you are ruminating on something that's really driving you crazy, see what you can do to switch that around. And if you have a story about your life, see what you can do and switch that around. Most people use affirmations. I like affirmations when they work, but not all affirmations work, because if you don't believe them that it's possible, then it will not work for you, in my opinion. So instead of saying, we'll just take an easy one. I was the baby of the family, right? So as the baby of the family, I could say, oh, I was always overlooked, so I always had to call attention to myself, and nobody paid attention to me, and like I was a last thought, and people forgot me, and blah blah blah. Right? I could tell that story over and over and over again. Or if I was going to do an affirmation, I would do the thing that's 180, right? Like, I always get attention and everybody pays attention to me, right? Which doesn't work if you don't believe that.
Mhm.
But if you shift it slightly, it will work. So instead of that, I can say, what was the benefit of it? What's the good thing that came out of that? So I might say, by the time I came around, my parents were pretty much already broken in. So they gave me a lot of latitude, and I get to figure things out on my own, which meant that later in life, I was really good at figuring things out on my own, and I became an entrepreneur.
I love it. Ooh, look
Same
at the silver lining. It's finding that silver lining.
Exactly, but a different story you tell yourself. So stay in the positive. That's my advice.
I love that. I want to talk about the gamification, because
Yeah.
that's interesting for me. I wait, there it is. Okay, so you have Speakers Playhouse, which offers a unique
Mhm.
gamified approach to networking. Like, was there an aha moment that sparked this idea, and how did you go about bringing it to life?
Yeah, so I love getting on stages and speaking on podcasts, radio shows, TV shows, web summits, radio shows, real live in person stages, Facebook Lives. This one's YouTube Live, all kinds of different stages and speaking opportunities. And I would meet these entrepreneurs and they'd say, oh, one day I want to do that. And I'm like, it's pretty easy. It's not like there you got to get a certification or anything. You don't have to get permission. Just like start talking to people, right? And
Mhm.
so I was chatting with a friend about that, and she's like, yeah, people really struggle in finding them. And I was like, podcasters sometimes struggle in finding guests. They want to find good guests for their show that have a good story that resonate with their audience. So why don't we just do a thing and make it fun? And that's pretty much how it started. And we decided to call it Speakers Playhouse. And we would get podcasters that would come in, and they'd announce the type of show they have and the types of guests they're looking for. And they put their contact information in the chat. And then we'd have the speakers come on and they'd say what they talk about and what kind of stages they're looking for. And then they'd put their contact information in the chat. And then we gamify it and do a bunch of goofballery. We give away points. The points don't matter. It's just super fun. It's very high energy, it is not your grandmother's networking event.
Like that. I love that. Where do you see yourself? Because I know you have a very lively spirit. You're very, go with the flow. The waves of the energies of the universe bring you about. But do you have a destination, if you will? Because I feel like both of us are kind of the same. We like to go with the flow. We're captaining our own boats, if you will, in the ocean of life. Do you have a destination in 10 years where you'd like to be?
Oh man, I would love to have a super cool answer for that. I don't really think I do. I think we'll never get it done. Which is great, which means we're never wrong, which means we're perfect just as we are, and we can do with a little improvement. That's right. So as we go along in this life, um, we're just doing the next right step. We're doing the next right thing in our business. As long as we're not spiraling into negativity, desperation, harming others, frustration to the point of stagnation or not moving forward. If we're moving forward in a positive way, making the next natural step for us, then I think what comes to us is the right thing that comes to us. I guess 10 years from now, sure, I'd love to have somebody in my life that's a life partner again. I really enjoyed my marriage while I had one, and then at the end it wasn't so great, and now it's actually really good. He and I are very good friends, and I think it just had to be that I wanted to travel more. I wanted to do some other things, and we were sort of growing apart, which people have a tendency to do. So I think I'd love to have another partner in my life, one way or another, and I don't know what that means, but that probably will bring its own set of excitement with it, right? They may have a family and kids of their own that bring some more fun into the party. And so we'll sort of figure it out as we go. I think I won't travel full time forever. I thought I would do it for 6 months. It's turned out to be 4.5 years. So it's a little longer than I thought,
Just a
but
little.
but yeah, I sort of as things are joyful, I'm going to keep doing them. Eventually, I'm going to have grandkids, one hopes, and then probably we'll be sticking more closely around them.
Well, I'm pretty sure you will have grandkids, and you're gonna be like the fun granny. You have the energy that reminds me of my mother, with just so much livelihood, and the way she interacts with my nephew, her
Mm.
first grandkid, is exceptional, giving him all the love that he deserves, rightfully being a grandkid. Um, with everything you've achieved, because you've achieved a lot, and obviously there's a lot more achievements coming down the path. Um, how do you balance that? Because you've scaled both the rocket fuel, sorry, with entrepreneurs rocket fuel and the speakers playhouse. You've built these platforms that empower and obviously connect thousands of individuals. How do you balance, like, maintaining a personal touch and personal life with scaling these businesses so that you're not overwhelmed and not burning out? I know you're passionate about this because obviously you don't have a monotone voice talking about these things. So I know you're passionate. I can hear that in your voice. But apart from passion, because passion doesn't keep you going, it keeps the fire, lit at times, or gives you that burst, but it doesn't keep you running that marathon of entrepreneurship. So how do you keep that personal touch and scaling?
Those are probably two different questions. What one leads to another. Scaling first, and then keeping it personal. I guess I'll answer it that way. I could not do this without a team. I do not have employees in the United States, but I do have virtual assistants in the Philippines. Once I have had a whole life of hiring people that are local employees, and I decided I did not want to do that anymore, and I went to find some virtual assistants. And then that was many years ago. And as I built relationship with them, I now have a team of 9 people in the Philippines that work for me. They actually work for my right arm in there. So I have one main VA, and then a couple others that I work more directly with. And then the rest of the team really just works for the team. And so I offload things to them, and they sort of take the ball and run with it. A lot of people think that entrepreneurship is a solopreneurship. And while it may be that you are the only person directly in your company and you may not have an employee yet, I highly recommend thinking of it as a team sport. It is something that you've got to be able to set down the ball from time to time, and your company still needs to run. You've got to be able to walk across Spain if you want to, and your company still needs to run. So how is that going to happen? Some of it can be automated. Absolutely. Some of it can be passive income. Absolutely. But not all of it can. If somebody emails and they've got a problem with your program, product, or service, and you're in Spain, disappeared, what happens? Or if you're sick, or if you're not able, or if you're not in the mood for a couple of weeks, to handle it, who can pick up the ball and run with it? And as soon as you know you have that, as soon as you know you have other people on your team that are going to help your people, your customers while you're not there, everything becomes easier. It's not all on you. Because here's the thing, we don't love everything. Like, I don't love it all. I don't relish it all. There are things that I don't even know how to spell Pinterest, but I have a Pinterest account. I don't know how that works. I don't want anything to do with it. But my team has stuff out on Pinterest for me, so that I can be out there in a bigger way. I don't want any part of that. If they stopped doing it, I wouldn't have one anymore. And that's fine. We might hire somebody else to do it, or we might not. I have no idea how much business it's bringing me. But that it's a team sport. So even though you're doing it all alone in the beginning, think in terms of scaling fairly quickly. If you are color coding your files, or if you're doing things that are just keeping you busy, it's a sign that you don't want to do some of the bigger things. If you could pay somebody else $3 an hour or $5 an hour to get that off your plate, then what could you do? What could open up for you? And I think like scaling helps you be back in your own personal love of things. So the fact that I don't have to do Pinterest, and I don't have to do some of the things and set up some of the automations and schedule all the Facebook posts, and and push play on all of the podcasts that I run. Mostly I just show up and talk, and then when I'm done, I hand it over to somebody else. And then when they put it out there, it's out there, but I don't have to do all of that rote work. And that allows you to scale because you can stay doing the things that you truly love doing. And that's what we're really good at anyway, right? There are some people who are like, I would never get on the stage as much as Kimberly does. That's ridiculous, right? None of my team would want to do it. None of the people in the Philippines would be like, can't wait to do a podcast interview.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I love podcast interviews. I love stages. I just did my second ever in-person event. I was nerve-wracked as all heck, but it went off without a hitch, and it was like I am now addicted to this. It harkens back to when I was a theater kid in high school, if you will, when I was doing drama and that, and I'm like, okay, I have to get on stage now. Yeah, I just revealed that no one ever knew I was a theater kid. Yay! More of my
Yeah,
life out there.
me too.
Kimberly, we are coming to the end of the episode, which I despise because your energy is infectious, and I'm glad you were the first interview of the day because it's going to carry me throughout the whole day. But I have the 10-year-old Kimberly here. She is just as energetic as you are today, and so much fun. But what's one piece of advice you would be love to be able to hand back to your 10-year-old self?
Yeah. Do the fun stuff. If it's not fun, it's not worth doing. Find something that lights you up. There's a great quote from Howard Thurman. He says, do not ask what the world needs, ask what lights you up. Because what the world needs are more people who are lit up.
Oh my God, that's amazing. And
Isn't
just
that juicy? I love that one.
that is beautiful. I'm going to steal that from now on. Kimberly, I'm going to jump off stage here. Let my audience know where they can connect with you, where they can find Speaker Playhouse, all these amazing things that you have going on. The floor, ma'am, is yours.
Thank you. Hi, folks. I'm Kimberly Crowe, and I'm an international inspirational public speaker. I would love to help you get on stages. I'd love to help you get the word out about who you are and what you're up to in the world. So come check out Speakers Playhouse. That's Speakers Playhouse with lots of S's, speakersplayhouse.com. And we would love to see you. It's a completely free event. It happens every single Thursday, except between Christmas and New Year. Every single Thursday at 10:30 a.m. to noon Pacific. We'd love to see you there. Cheers.
Amazing. Kimberly, I want to thank you so much for being an amazing guest. I had a pleasure chatting with you, and your energy is so infectious. Thank you so much for being here.
Phil, it's been a joy.
To my audience, make sure you check out the show notes down below so that you can connect with Kimberly and the Speakers Playhouse, because it is a phenomenal community of entrepreneurs and speakers and all those great things. So make sure you check out that. And as always, remember to invest in yourself.